Alright, you guys, hope this video finds you great. Hope this video finds you well. Hope you're having a phenomenal Sunday. I have 3 PSAs, public service announcements, before we get started today. Number 1, I revealed a video talking about my $350,000 portfolio, and in that video I asked if you guys give me 250 likes on that video, I'll reveal every single stock that I have in my portfolio. Now, of course, there might be 1 or 2 shares that I don't share with you guys, just for public or privacy reasons here. And the second video that I released asking for 250 likes, that is if you guys provide 250 likes and provide a ticker symbol below, the first hidden ticker symbols that show up in the comment section, I will then make a community post where you guys can vote on those first 10 ticker symbols, and the one that gets the highest votes I will purchase in my YouTube Moolah account. To give you guys a brief video or update about that video, you could always watch it. I'll put it in the upper right hand corner for you. But I have around $2,200 of income that I've made from YouTube, or whatever, $1,900 or what have you, from YouTube in that account. And what I will then be doing is transitioning out of the 3 ETFs that I currently have in there and using you guys to choose what stocks I then put in that portfolio, and then give you guys every couple weeks an update, or maybe every couple months an update on how that portfolio is doing. And I think that would be a better use of the YouTube Moolah portfolio, rather than just taking money from the YouTube money that I get and just putting it into regular ETFs without really consulting you guys. I think while I might take a short-term hit off of not being able to invest in, say, ETFs or anything like that, I would be interacting with you guys more, which I believe is better. And then the third public service announcement, a couple of you guys have reached out to me personally, whether it's through Instagram or Facebook, asking for advice, investing advice. And not against that. I personally love the fact that you guys are reaching out and trying to get your investing journey started. But I think it's beneficial for a lot of different people to hear where you're at, and I think a lot of people are in your boat. And so I created a WhatsApp group for this, and some of you guys, I think 14 or 15 of you guys are actually in this already. But it's in my Shopify store. If you go down, it's completely free to join for the first month. If you don't like it, we can get you out of the group. But I think your story would be beneficial for everyone in that group. And so I'm just asking you guys if that's something that you'd be interested in, to share that with multiple people, and you can also hear their stories, hear their perspectives as well, rather than just my own. That's the purpose of the group. Just not hearing from me, but hearing from others that might be in your shoes and might have a different perspective, because I've been investing now since 2012 or so, and heavily dividend investing since late 2014, early 2015. And so my perspective might be altered, and my income and how much I'm contributing to the portfolio might alter my perspective. So hearing those perspectives might be very beneficial for you if you're just getting started out in, say, 2019 timeframe. Fourth quarter 2019, pretty crazy. So actually getting back into the Fundrise video here, what you guys are seeing on the screen here is the $1,700 or so that I have in my Fundrise portfolio. Of that, it's invested in like 8 or 9 different REITs, or real estate investment trusts, hosted by Fundrise. And you can see at the moment my earnings for all time have been around $173. Keep in mind that I've really only been investing $138 monthly since the beginning of July. So you can see that it's kind of stair-stepping here. What I'm trying to do is, I forget where to find it here, but what it was basically saying is over the course of 20 or so years, if you're investing $138 or so, you should be expecting to get $100,000 in income, or not income, but rather total portfolio value in 20 years. And so I said, you know what, that sounds pretty cool. It pays dividends. It automatically takes it out of my checking account every month. Let's do it. So I said, it's just another thing that I can diversify in and put money in, and it's real estate, so there's no real issue that I see with it, other than the fact of the points I'm about to get into. And before I step into this, there's a video that I made about this about 1.5 years ago, talking about my initial 1-year review about Fundrise, and I got a lot of hate on that video. It's probably one of my best viewed videos, probably because all the dislikes that I got from that video. And there's no hate, I can understand people's perspectives. But I was talking about how I only got about 6 or 7% return in the first year, going from $1,000 or so to going to $1,062, and people are like, oh, you only make $62, you're an idiot. Anyone would love that. Like, if you had more money, you'd make more money. I'm like, yeah, but 6%. And so my problem wasn't necessarily with the $62 because that I only put in $1,000, and I think a lot of people got put on that video and they don't necessarily know at that point I had, you know, over $200,000 or so in other investments that I was tracking as well. What I was trying to highlight was that the 6% that you're seeing doesn't necessarily show up very well on this active project list. And so the 6% is at the very bottom of this, right? And even now, if you say that I made, you know, close to 7.5%, just based off the 1,700, and the majority of the money that I made or had going into Q3 was around, you know, $1,200 to $1,300. So you could say at best, you know, 15% over 2 years, because I started investing in July of 2017. So you could say at best 15% over 2 years, so 7.5%, 7% a year. Even still, that is in the fourth quartile or below of this total return project here. And so the problem I have is that Fundrise still is advertising that you should, in your first to third quartile, be getting anywhere between 8 to 12%. And I'm investing now in, you know, multiple different E-REITs, and I'm still getting below that third quartile into the close to the fourth quartile. And even in first quartile, people are looking to get anywhere between 12 to 16%. But I'd say the majority of the items that people are investing in are in the 8 to 12% range, and people are not seeing those types of returns, in my opinion, from what I've seen. So maybe it's just my opinion, but, you know, my opinion generally tends to be spread across multiple different portfolios here. Was nice enough to get a $15 or so dividend here, $15.78 in dividend for the third quarter, which puts me on track for about 4.5 to 5% in total dividend yield. So the other 4 or so, 3.5 to 4% that I'm getting in total returns is probably coming from appreciation from the actual investments themselves. But you can see it went into multiple things: National E-REIT, Income E-REIT, Heartland E-REIT, and Income E-REIT, with the majority of it going to the National and Income E-REIT here. And if this sounds pretty polished, it's because it is. I recorded this a little bit earlier, and this is actually pretty funny. I went to load the video, and I guess something was going on with my mic, and I sounded like the devil trying to eat your children. My voice was like way deep, and hopefully when I load this one, it doesn't sound the same, because I checked the audio with some small clips before I started this video, and it sounded better. It sounded like my normal voice. So wasn't sure if I had a bunch of phlegm in my throat, but I honestly think it was the microphone, because even the clap that I did to try to calibrate the mic sounded a little off. But anyway, hope this video finds you great. Hope this video finds you well. Like I said, I'm not trying to downplay Fundrise. I think, oh, that reminds me, before I get quit here, hope you guys stay on. The reason why I'm saying that the 7.5 to 8% is not necessarily good, and I thought I talked about this because, like I just said, I already recorded this, is I have things that I've invested in, regular real estate investment trusts that I've invested in since 2014, 2015, even 2016, 2017 timeframe, and they are on an annualized basis completely blowing Fundrise out of the water. So WP Carry, I think, is something I purchased in mid to late 2016, and it's seeing a 71% return. So over 3 years, it's seeing about a 20% annualized return compared to the 7.5% annualized return. Same thing with Cyrus One, seeing about a 62%. So you could say it's maybe high teens, 15 to 20% annualized return there. Even more so, if I go to my computer shares account, there was a one-off where I purchased, I'm sorry, this is my regular individual brokerage account. It's from my computer shares account. And there's a one-off where I purchased Realty Income Corp at a really good price point, and it was around $46 or so. So I purchased $200 worth of shares, and it's already up 102%. So knowing that that is kind of targeting prices, but you're just seeing here that, you know, I don't have the purchase date in here, but I would say it was probably less than 2 years ago. That's a 40 to 50% annualized return. Maybe it was 3 years ago. Even still, it's a 30% annualized return compared to the 7.5% that I'm seeing for Fundrise. So I'm not saying Fundrise is bad. I think it is something that you can use to diversify your portfolio. But for some reason, the E-REITs that I'm seeing have been the regular REITs that I'm seeing have much been better than the Fundrise REITs that we're seeing in this part of the portfolio. And now I think you might be like, oh, $173, how do you expect more, right? I think a lot of people are going to give me problems on that, just like they did in the first video. I can understand where you're coming from. Yes, 173 when you're only making, putting in 1,000, 1,200 might seem like a lot. If you've done that with Realty Income Corp, you've had over $2,000 now if you bought in the price point that I had, or if you bought in to WP Carey 2-3 years ago, just like the time I had started my Fundrise account, you'd have over $700 now. So it's not necessarily talking about Fundrise as an overall return basis. I think everyone can get on board that Fundrise is a superior product in terms of user interface and that much. But I think in an opportunity cost basis, you're losing out on 6-7% per year, if not more, in some cases. Like in the Realty Income Corp, you're missing out on close to 20 to 25% maybe opportunity cost annualized, and that would, if that were to continue, be massively changed your portfolio size within 5-10 years. So if you think about it, if you're doing 7.5%, $1,000 within off a $1,000 investment, within 10 years you'd be looking at a 750 or so return. I don't even want to talk about what it would be if you had a 25 to 30% annualized return. And I know that's just looking at 2 to 3 year time spans, but I think that that's just something to keep in mind when you're investing in Fundrise. Like I said, I think it's something to use as a diversification piece. If you want to guarantee that you'll just be investing in real hard assets and it doesn't have the volatility of, say, the stock market, it might be something that you can involve yourself in. But if you're looking for higher risk, higher reward opportunities, and not saying the stock market is high risk, high reward, but generally speaking, compared to, say, Fundrise, it looks like it's slightly higher risk with much more reward, I guess is the way to put it. So really appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Hope this video found you well. Hopefully it gave you some insights on Fundrise. Like I said, I'll continue to invest $138 a month into Fundrise. I think it's a really useful place to put some side income. But like I said, I'll continue to invest majority of my money in the stock market just based off the returns I've been able to see there, and the liquidity also that you see in the stock market is slightly better as well. So I think that's it for this video. Like I said, 250 likes on the previous 2 videos, and you guys will get to see some really good stuff. And if you guys really want individual advice or individual coaching, one-on-one coaching, feel free to join the WhatsApp group in the Shopify link in the description below. Cheers, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.